imagine you're in an intimate situation, you're with your boyfriend or girlfriend, you guys are caressing, you're kissing, you're in that point where it's gonna happen, and what happens? Nothing. You're embarrassed, you don't know what's going on. Some of you think, I'm too young to have this problem. It could be the woman that's not interested, it could be anything. You know, you're trying to find out what can I do that doesn't have to be medicine, and I can actually might entice you in something called Mama Juana. Mama Juana drink is not only a plain alcoholic drink, it takes a mixture of ingredients and time and process to make, and it's also used for many things, as a natural Viagra to different home remedies. The reason I am talking to you about Mama Juana is because I am married to a Dominican. That's how I met him, that's how I learned about this drink. I've traveled many times to the Dominican Republic. I say over the last 5 years I've traveled a good 25 times maybe. It was cheaper when I lived in Florida also, but haven't been there since I've moved here. And you know, this is to also inform you of a vitality drink that's very unique to the Dominican culture. Also to offer you many home, remedies for common problems that you can find. We're first going to go ahead and explain the history of the Mama Juana. And we're going to go on to explaining how it is actually made and the ingredients that are used in it. And then we're going to talk about the impact on the culture. The history originated from over 1,000 years ago. It was originally used as a herbal tea by the Taino Indians. According to the U.S. Department of State from June 2007, the island of Hispaniola, of which the Dominican Republic forms the eastern 2/3 and the Haiti the remainder, was originally occupied by the Taino Indians. The Tainos welcomed Columbus on his first voyage in 1492, but subsequent colonizers were brutal, reducing the Taino population from about 1 million to about 550 years. They did not die out completely. There's a few who have Taino roots who still live in the Dominican Republic and actually are the ones that have the actual recipe for the Mama Juana. Mama Juana is used. Mama Juana is used for as a vitality drink. It used to be an answer to their well-being. It actually is the Dominican Republic's baby maker, or Viagra. It energizes, vitalizes, or they actually have a saying that whatever tortures you, Mama Juana takes care of it. We're going to go ahead and talk, now that you know a little bit about the history, we're going to go ahead and speak about how it's actually made. The ingredients are actually red wine. It's a red wine rum and half a cup of honey. The dry ingredients are the dry ingredients is actually called llame, which it's a form of herb which enhances the hormones. Anamu, which is a bark of the tree. You have Bojuco, you have Brazil, Taro, Marabelli, Osua, Cuyacan, twigs of Palo Indio, Palo de Maguay, Pega Palo, which actually means a hitting stick, Canilera, which is actually a form of Dominican cinnamon, which is used for flavors and circulation and to actually give the mix a warmth. Tobacco, which is used for the ligaments and makes you agile for days. Bejuco, which is which is used for male impotency, and it is actually said to give the person bottom parts a vibrating sensation when you take it in a lot of quantity. The process is actually you would fill all these herbs in a bottle. You'd stuff them in there, and then you would pour. You would fill it with red wine and a quarter cup of honey. You would leave it there in there for a week, and it's actually to clean the ingredients and take the bitterness away from the sticks. You then pour it out, and then it's ready for the good stuff. This is when you would add 3/4 of rum, which usually you use a Dominican rum, which is called Brugal. Then you would use a quarter of the wine and a quarter cup of honey. And you'd actually leave it there for at least a week or more, depending on what kind of flavor you actually want. The different one, they actually have special ingredients also, which include octopus, snails, conch, clam, oysters, and their secret is actually a sea turtle penis, which is called miembro de carey, and this is actually to give the male an extra potency to get the woman pregnant. Now that you know the ingredients, we're going to go ahead and speak about the impact this has had in the country. This is used a lot for home remedies. You have a headache, they tell you take a shot. You've got toothache, you take a shot. There are actually different forms to get pregnant and how to avoid pregnancy. You just kind of tweak the ingredients of it. This is actually used, that's the Brugal, the actual Dominican rum you would use in it, and of course Presidentes is their nationality of beer. It's actually found in many reunions where you see parties. I mean, Dominicans just drink to drink. It's really, it's everywhere. That's their main drink, and when you party, you drink. It actually also has income for the country. It's very hard to find your herbs here in the United States, and there's actually, you can even Google it on the internet. You can find many places that would actually export you a package of the things where you could just make it with your own kind of rum that you find here. And these are actually some bottles that are for tourists. When you go over there, these are the kind of bottles you would have, which are leather handcrafted bottles. This is one of the big jumbo ones that if you live there, this is what you buy. And again, you know, this is how they bring in a lot of their income. So now that you know, if you ever have a problem with little intimacy and you need a natural Viagra, you know where to go.
Questions for Yanni?
Yes.
So if you wanted to get it here, you would go on the internet?
Yes, you would actually just type in Mama Juana, and there's actually one called, I think it's called Passport Mama Juana, and they sell it for like under $30 for a little pack where you actually.
How do you know it's original?
It is. It's actually from one of the manufacturers from the companies over there. So there's a few different ones. I mean, best bet is actually if you fly over there, you can actually get it from any little bodega or anything. It's really cheap. A bottle of rum costs about $2 our money.